What's up, Saber buddies? Richie here, and today I want to show you something big. So big, it barely fits on my mat. That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry. This is my Saberforge Consular staff, which is basically two Saberforge Consulars put together by their short coupler. And this is awesome. This thing feels great, it's lightweight, it's thin, the diameter is thin, it fits in my hand very nicely. I have small hands, so I love it. And actually, my wife, who has very small hands, she thinks this is great. And this is her favorite saber, so she'll probably end up using this a lot, or hopefully. Another thing to mention about this is part of Saberforge's apprentice line, meaning it's machined from one solid piece instead of having multiple pieces that thread together. And I think that gives it more stability, and this is going to be a really nice dueler. And this is just really cool. I got this, the way I ordered this was in two Warrior editions, meaning no sound, just light. I got this with two 12-watt yellows. And the reason I'm doing a yellow staff is because I'm a huge fan of the Knights of the Old Republic game, the original one. And when I saw Bastila come on the screen with her double-bladed yellow lightsaber, I had to have one, and it's been a favorite of mine for a while. So this is based on that. I'm sure you can get screen accurate hilts from another company, but this sort of, reminded me of that, and it was inexpensive, relatively speaking. So I thought that was cool. So I want to talk about some of the modifications I made. So the first thing to mention is when I got this, these two halves did not line up. And I ordered, or actually I didn't order them, a friend of mine, Chris Altobelli, gave me a set of his ASP timing rings, timing shims, to try to get them to line up. But for anyone who's tried to do that, the ASP rings are too big for apprentice level sabers. So what I ended up doing, and hopefully this is helpful to somebody, I went to Michael's. I love Michael's. And I got these jewelry washers. They're in the jewelry section. They're these thin aluminum washers. If I can get them out, I'll just show them to you. There we go. And I put them here. I have about I have three of them stacked up. Now the reason I'm using these thin Michael's ones is the ones you get from the hardware store are much thicker. So you really can't fine tune the degrees you need to go in order to get the two hilts to line up. Another thing is these washers, these aluminum washers, were too thick. So I put them in on the grinder just to, bring them down a little bit to get them to fit inside there. And what they do is they press right up against the battery pack, and they give me the right amount of turns to get the two halves to line up. And there you go. So that's a really nice fix. And, it's about $5 for a pack of those. But like I said, if you have an apprentice level saber, you're going to have to grind them. So you need to have a grinder to do that, or a belt sander or something like that. Actually, that's what I used, a belt sander. So another thing I want to talk about is I put sound on one half of this. And here was my thinking. I did like a little experiment here. I was thinking that, yes, I want to have this be a staff with sound, but I don't want to spend the money. So I was hoping that if I only installed sound on one half, that it would be sensitive enough for the whole thing. And turns out that works just fine. So in here, I have a Nano Biscotti V3, 2-watt bass speaker, and no chassis parts because they wouldn't fit. I ordered some chassis parts, but just this is very tight in here. So I basically have just the Nano Biscotti and the battery, the Nano Biscotti taped around the battery with a little bit of that plastic tubing you get from the custom saber shop to protect it from hitting anything metal. So let's pull out the killer key. Now, I had a lot of problems installing the Saber. It turns out I wired the recharge port backwards. So I got to thank all the guys on the Facebook custom Saber page because they really came to the rescue. And that's Jordan Eugene and Kang Mai for helping me finish this. I was in a rough spot. I thought I broke it, and they helped me fix it. So thank you very much, guys. And thanks to everybody in the community. You guys are all awesome and very helpful. This is a really fun thing to be involved with, and you guys make it fun. So thank you. So here's the stunt side, the light only. And I got some blade plugs in there, the ones that came with it, the Saberforge ones. So here's the first font. This is just the dark meat, the higher pitched one. So as you see, doesn't matter what side I hit, it's sensitive enough for the entire saber. So that was kind of neat because I saved some money. So that worked out really nicely, actually. And the sound is loud enough to carry this whole thing. I mean, this is a resonant chamber pretty much, and it has a nice sound to it. One tweak I had to make, I should point out, as you'll notice, there are no cover tech knobs here, just because you really don't want that for a staff, and you're going to be doing spinning and all sorts of, maneuvering. So when I took out the cover tech knob, the sound got worse because I didn't have a nice enclosure anymore. So I actually went to the hardware store and I got these little grub screws there to plug the holes up, and they look great, they feel smooth, and they fixed my sound problem. In-hilt recharge. This is an AV switch, but a lighted one, but I didn't power up the lights. I prefer these not be lighted. I like the regular, non-illuminated ones. And yeah, I think that's all the modifications. I also have another font on here.
Cyber Assassin.
This is Shamim's Cyber Assassin, and I have this for when I use this as a single blade. So when I detach this and I want to use this as a dueler, this will be my dueling font. I just thought that was cool. Okay. But for most of the time, I'll be keeping it on the regular dark meat. Another modification I made is I turned off the flicker on clash, or the shimmer effect, just because I wanted it to match on both sides. So, when you hit the saber or it's flickering, it doesn't look uneven. So here it is by itself. Let's put some blades in. Those are the Laserforge blade plugs. Pretty cool. And they come with these. I also got I got one of these from Etsy, and one of these from Saberforge, their regular website, and they came pretty quick because they were both in stock on the Etsy site. And if you point out that you want rush shipping on the main page and that it's available on the Etsy site, you can get it. So the blades I'm using for this are the 26-inch V4 blades from Saberforge. And I'm only 5'7", so these are plenty for me. The staff is about 5'9" altogether. Actually, before I show you in here, I'm going to cut to a video I took the other night of me goofing around in my backyard, because this is going to be too big to show right here. So take it away, Rich. Okay, I'm back. So that was me goofing around my backyard, embarrassing myself. But anyway, let's turn it on in here with the blades so you can hear it better. Let's see if I can show you this better. Okay. So there it is. So I'm going to hit the non-sound side right now. And as you see, it's fine. It works totally fine for both sides, as long as you turn the flicker off. So turn this off. So there it is, my Saberforge Consular staff. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this sort of thing. And thanks for watching.